Welcome to Series 10. We have both been reflecting on this milestone, and it is amazing. We have covered 10 games, released 7 episodes of player advice, and talked to so many amazing people, both as guests on our show and through the great community that we've built up around this show. So we really can't thank you all enough for your support. And we are excited to keep making amazing people.
It's really been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We will both be at AcadeCon this week, which is going to be November 9th through 11th in Dayton, Ohio. So you can see us around. You can get a card for the show, say hi, join us at our panel with James D'Amato on Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing to think that at this time last year, you and I did not know each other.
No.
And we didn't even manage to bump into each other when we were both at AcadeCon.
Uh-huh.
Neither of us had been on a podcast, I don't think. I know I hadn't. Had you been on one yet? Yeah.
No, I don't think I had been on one yet, actually. I was just a webmaster for one at that point.
Yeah, and I was in my quote-unquote audition process for Shadow of the Cabal. We were going to, meet up and see how we gelled. Things have changed so drastically from where we were at a year ago at AcadeCon. So I'm so excited to see how it feels this year. And I really hope that all of you will join us as we get to experience this whole new world as podcast superstars. We're podcast famous.
So many fans.
Right, adoring fans. I'm sure that they'll be just paparazzi everywhere.
Gonna have to hide our faces going to our events.
It's true. We'll put on sunglasses and don't speak to me. Just kidding. But really seriously, please do speak to us. I have lots of cards. We would love to talk to you. I'm so excited to talk to people and meet people in person.
Oh, yeah. 100%. And hey, if you enjoyed our Spire series, just one quick reminder that the Strata Kickstarter has a few more days left. They've met the stretch goals for additional adventures, and this is a great opportunity to learn more about this great setting. I think they're approaching a goat one.
Yeah, there's something about naming a goat, and then Grant and Chris going somewhere to pet goats, I think is also a stretch goal. So I'm pretty excited for that. I do hope that we get pictures of them petting goats.
That'd be awesome.
So if you can help us reach that and just fulfill my dreams of seeing some game designers pet some goats, it would mean so much to me.
But if you look past all of the awesome goat ones, there's some really great actual additional content coming up beyond those. So if we can push them beyond that, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. As of the time that we're recording this, so it's Saturday night for people that are listening on Monday, there's 11 days left. I don't feel like doing that math. I guess it's 9, right? Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know. It's 9-ish days. It's a little over a week. Don't ask us to do math. But yeah, that's plenty of time to back the game. And I think that there's one level that definitely has the core book too. So you could just get a twofer and get it all done right away if you don't already own that amazing game.
That's what I did.
Yeah. Speaking of things that you can buy and or pay for on the internet. It's my segue. It's the best I can do, okay? It's been a long day. We haven't mentioned it recently, but the One Shot Network has a Patreon. So money from that Patreon goes to support the network, including shows like ours. It helps bring us to conventions, furnish equipment, pay hosting fees, all the fun stuff that comes along with podcasting. If you back at the $5 level, you get access to the Secret Archive, which has all kinds of really cool content. There's outtakes from things. I think Alex Roberts reads some poems. There's the System Mastery guys being nice about things. And very shortly, there will be an episode where I do character creation for No Thank You Evil with my kids. So you can check that out at patreon.com/oneshotpodcast.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one.
It's pretty silly.
Awesome. Well, another amazing way to support us is with a rating or review. You can leave us a review on iTunes or pretty much anywhere you want. Here is one such review titled, 4 Successes, a Triumph, and a Triple Threat. This was written by Magical Girl Kira from the USA, who is also a very wonderful supporter in our Discord channel. And it has been killing it on the Friday Forges and the Tuesday team-ups.
Yeah, she's wonderful. Just wonderful.
100%.
We
All
love
right.
you. Okay.
So she says, Character Creation Cast is an incredible exploration of various RPG systems through the most fundamental of their aspects, character creation. Ryan and Amelia are insightful hosts who go over how each system's character creation process informs players about how the game plays and what they can expect from it. It's also an amazing interview show as Amelia and Ryan talk with their guests about their history with the games they investigate and why they play them. Hearing people discuss games they love and enjoy is a phenomenal way to learn about the best parts of the system, and they're also willing to point out any parts of the game that don't work out as well. For the third and final facet of this wonderful show, once a month, they have a special Character Evolution Cast episode where they talk to a special guest about ways players of all types can level up their playstyles. These discussions are always fascinating and are a wonderful resource for players of all levels. Well, thank you so much. That was awesome.
That was a really wonderful review. I love it.
Yeah.
I love reviews. I say it every
I
time.
love reviews.
I love reviews.
Leave us more reviews to make us feel awesome when we read them.
Yes. Or if you're coming to a catacon, just stand in front of us and review us in person, but only if it's a nice review. Walk up 5 stars.
5 stars. Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, with all of that out of the way, we will see you at a catacon maybe. And here's the episode.
Yeah, enjoy.
To Character Creation Cast, a show where we discuss and create characters, the best part of role-playing games, with guests using their favorite systems. I'm one of your hosts, Amelia, and this episode, my co-host Ryan and I welcome another Ryan from Shadow of the Cabal podcast. We are here to discuss character creation for Traveler, a sci-fi role-playing game system from Mongoose Publishing.
And welcome to Character Creation Cast, other Ryan. We're really excited you could join us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start introducing yourself to the audience. Can you go ahead and tell us a bit about yourself and any projects that you're currently involved in?
So basically, the main project I'm involved in is the podcast Shadow of the Cabal, in which for our first campaign, I played Isawa or Usagi Michio. Aside from that, we've had several smaller sessions, and I've played various characters, and I will continue to be on that, and we will be starting up, hopefully soon, our new Legend of the Five Rings campaign in the new system, whenever that comes out.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. We're going to start by discussing the game itself and what it is all about.
What's in a game?
So the best place to start with this is going to be, what is the setting of this game?
So the setting for Traveler is kind of convoluted. Ultimately, the core book is meant to be somewhat setting neutral to give you just a vague, it's sci-fi, it's in the future. Humans are the majority race. There are some aliens, but it's mostly human-centric. If you really want to delve into the setting that is usually attached to Traveler, it's called the Third Imperium, and it is, considering how old the game is, exactly as convoluted and large and unnecessary and extra as you could possibly imagine. But at its core, this is a game set in a, I want to say, semi-realistic sci-fi setting. You know, more grounded than, say, something with wizards in sci-fi settings.
Okay, so is it like spacefaring civilizations and stuff like that?
Yeah, usually the assumption is that it's the humans are running kind of a large feudal empire. And so while there's a strong, I guess, core emperor, things like that, it's a lot of individually run who owe fealty to the emperor, various planets throughout the system. And about the most supernatural you get is that the game does include psionics.
Oh, okay.
But you're not going to see some of the really overt things that you might see in some sci-fi. You're not going to see gods coming down and doing things like you see in Warhammer.
So more science than fiction.
Exactly. Yeah.
More on the hard science side, less space opera.
Yeah. And even the psionics are something that can be completely removed from the game without any actual issue.
Oh, that's always a sign of a great mechanic.
Well, it's one of those things where it's, if you want it, here's the rules for it. If you don't want it, you don't need to have it.
That's true. I always say, like, it's easier to take them out than put them in.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So what sort of things do we need to play this game?
Well, you would want the core book. Mongoose Traveler 2nd edition is what I recommended. There are a lot of editions of Traveler. And for this edition, though, you generally just need 6-sided dice. For the most part, you're going to be rolling 2 at a time. Sometimes for certain things, you're going to roll 3 or 1, but a good handful of 6-sided dice in the core book, pretty much all you need.
Okay.
You can use battle maps and things if you want, but that's kind of up to you.
So what does a typical character do in this game?
Well, the typical character in Traveler is, a middle-aged person who's under crippling debt and just trying to make it by.
Oh, future millennials.
But in space.
Yeah, no, so my life going forward.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, so the game is meant to cover like a lot of different things you could do, but that is kind of a summary of what the base assumption for a normal game of Traveler is when you build your character, it's pretty hard to not be in debt in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
If most of the games you're going to start with a ship and it's not paid off.
Cool.
And so that's one of the big things is just trying to make it by and make all of your payments, keep yourself running while maybe moving up in the world.
Oh, wow.
I did not want to play Balancing My Checkbook, the RPG. That sounds horrible.
And that is, Amelia, you are going to hate this.
I said, you know what? I'll try anything once. It's it's fine.
Yeah.
We'll get through it together.
We don't have to play it. We just have to create characters.
That's true.
The game can be played other ways. You could play a full-on military campaign. You could be scientists exploring on uncharted worlds. But the kind of core assumption for a normal game is that you're doing whatever you can to get by. One of the things I kind of point out to people about this game is that no one knows for sure, but the belief is that Firefly was based on this game. And so that can kind of give you an idea of what characters might be doing.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Just trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
smuggling jobs.
Yeah, things like that.
Oh, cool. So then, aside from the crippling debt and all that sort of fun stuff, what's unique about Traveler?
So that's one of the reasons that I wanted to bring this up to you guys is Traveler. I think it was one of the first, but I know some other use it now. Traveler uses a Lifepath system for character creation. Mm-hmm. Creating your character is itself a game in Traveler. There's a lot to it. Some good, some bad, but it is a whole different entity. Aside from that, and I know we're going to get into it a little bit later, advancement in Traveler is pretty different, pretty unique compared to other games. You don't gain levels. You don't gain experience points. There are no experience points in Traveler.
Oh, weird.
So why are we playing? What is even the point?
I'm sorry that you can't make your character level 300 and blow up moons or something.
But still be in debt, man. You're not getting rid of those student loans.
If you get enough money, you could buy a big enough ship with a big enough weapon that you could blow up a moon. That's the advancement in this game.
That's the dream.
Yes.
That's really interesting.
I just want to blow up a moon, you guys. Is that so wrong?
Yes. I mean, probably.
What has the moon ever done for us?
I don't know. Tides.
Who needs them? Okay, so why is advancement special then? If it doesn't use XP, what on earth is it doing? Yeah, so improving your character, and maybe some of this is going to make a bit more sense a little bit later. You have a couple characteristics: intelligence and education.
Those two, there's a formula where you add them together. I think it's multiplied by 3. I can double check on that. And that is the total number of skill points your character can have over their career.
Ever?
Ever. That character, yeah. You won't start with that many skill points. You're not going to start with it unless you make a character that's real dumb. Just don't make a character that's real dumb, you guys.
Too late. No, I'm just kidding. I would never. I would never, you guys. No.
Yeah. And, even then it might be hard to... But yeah, so gaining skills is literally a factor of you have to spend time in character, or not necessarily in character, but in your character's downtime training that skill. There's a roll to see if you trained yourself enough to improve it. If you did, you go up one.
Oh.
Interesting.
I kind of like that, though.
Yeah, most of the advancement for this game is actually more based on your economic status than anything else. So, like, you make more money, you can increase your characteristics by getting implants, but you can't do that through anything other than having the money.
This is Amelia's game.
Yeah, I know. This is exactly what Amelia wants.
Why do you like this? I shouldn't be that snarky about this game, you guys. I haven't played it. I just, I feel bad because, like, we should be, like, nice to the games until I have a reason not to be. Like L5R, even, I tried to be nice. Like, I tried.
Yeah, you gave it the old college try.
That game was not doing me any favors. I love that game. No, I kind of like the idea of advancing based off of having to learn things and do things, because it's, that's an issue with a lot of games, is things feeling kind of arbitrary. Like, all of a sudden I have this cool new skill and there's no reason that I suddenly know how to sail a ship, but I do.
Yeah, that's kind of something in, like, Dungeons & Dragons that has always bothered me since I was a little boy, was if my character's a wizard, he may gain the ability to hit with a sword less frequently than a fighter, but he still, for some reason, as he levels up, is a little bit better with hitting with a sword. Why? I don't understand it.
He just watched other people do it. Like, he watched a lot of shows about it.
Yeah.
He's never picked one up, but suddenly he's a little bit better at it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like the idea. Although I'm not sure that I do like that it's kind of a function of your intelligence, like your ability to grasp the concept.
Right.
Because that's real life. But also, like, what if you're not that smart?
Yeah, it definitely has some limiting factors. And I've said before, I love this game, but there are problems with it. There are some things that I think if they do 3rd edition, I want to see switched up a bit.
There are very few games in the world, though, where I don't go, hey, we could fix that a little bit.
Yeah.
So, especially like games, like, the longer they've been around, like, I think the more time you have to find those things about them.
Right. And I kind of what I said earlier to you, Amelia, is this game is definitely a product of its era. This game was made in 1977. And while, Dungeons & Dragons came out a little bit before that, several other games, were kind of coming around there. GURPS, I think, was fairly early on as well. Some of them have advanced to the more modern styles. This one, not quite as much. It's tried a little bit, I think, but it's not evolved to the modern sensibilities as much. And that, for better or worse.
Yeah, so it was originally published in 1977, and there are a lot of editions, and, like, in a lot of different systems too. Like, there's a D20 version, and there's a GURPS version, and there's like a regular version, and then I thought there was something that was like 5th edition, but this is 2nd edition. But then I was so confused. But then this one is from 2016, so
this is the most recent.
Right, it's a decently modern game that's only 2 years ago, with none of the modern sensibilities.
I get the impression that this one they want to try to keep with their roots, and I get it.
Yeah.
But there are some things where maybe going away from your roots is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, progress for the sake of progress is not always great, but, like, some progress is good.
Yeah, a little bit here and there.
Yeah. Should try it out once in a while.
So what sorts of things do we need to know, the basic terms and concepts, in order to create characters for the Traveler system?
So creating a character is, as I said before, it's its own game. The main things that you need to know ahead of time as far as terminology is there will be a thing you're going to see a lot, and it's going to be something characteristic DM. So strength DM, education DM. That stands for dice modifier. Based on what you have in, say, your social standing characteristic, there's a plus or a minus to your dice roll. And for pretty much everything, you roll 2d6, add them together, add or subtract your dice modifier. So that's ultimately that's the biggest thing. Everything else is pretty well explained in the character creation process. There's things like terms when we're doing our character creation. Every term is 4 years. Your character goes through as many terms as you feel comfortable with, but there are downsides to going to too many terms.
I noticed the dice notations in the book were a little bit different than what I've seen before, but they were explained pretty clearly, like right at the beginning, that it's like 2D is just 2 dice, and the dice are D6s. So they were like, we don't want to write out the word dice.
I'd say the weirdest one is the D66.
Yes, so a D66, you roll 2 dice, and you want to have them be 2 different colors. You assign one ahead of time to the 10 space and one to the 1 space. You roll them both. It will get you anywhere from, not anywhere from, but 11 to 66, but only in the range of,
Right. So there's going to be 36 different combinations.
Yeah. So
effectively.
It's kind of an attempt to do percentiles without using percentile. I don't know why they went that route.
Okay.
It's another one of those weird things.
Okay. All right.
So one of the things you'll notice with this game is they really like having spreadsheets for almost anything.
Who doesn't?
Oh yeah, no, that's for me. That's one of the things I love about this game.
Love me some spreadsheets.
Yeah, and so it's you're gonna see them all over the place. That's the way that they decided in their inelegant wisdom to try to make it work for a larger number of variables or whatever, columns or I guess lines.
Mm-hmm.
I just why not pick a neater number? Just you know what? We only use 6s. We're not going to ask somebody to get out a different die.
Right. I think when they made this, again, keep in mind, it was originally
in their mom's
made
basement and they only had a Yahtzee set. And they were like, you know what? That's it.
It was originally made so early that I think they might have wanted to differentiate themselves from D&D in that you only need this one style of dice.
Which almost everybody has. You got Monopoly, you've got 2d6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that might be what the reasoning was.
Okay, but in the year of our Lord 2016.
No, absolutely
I'm really
correct.
On this.
That's another one of those things where they should have just said, all right, we can switch this up a bit.
You've had your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Sure, whatever. You do you.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the book a little bit right now, and I noticed that there is a cyclical flowchart for creating a traveler.
Yeah, you could try to use that. We'll use it. I
dare you.
Well, no, it's actually not bad once you kind of sit down and really look at it. Once you know what everything means, it makes a lot more sense. And so it's one of those things where I've run this game enough, and I've walked people through making characters enough that I understand it, and I'm here to help you guys understand it.
Well, good. That's the goal. Is that by the end of this,
you guys will be able to
also maybe kind of understand it or have decided, nah.
Yeah. If people are following along at home, it's on page 10.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with all of that, let's jump right into it and make some people.
Oh, yeah. Time to make some people.
Time to make some people.
Let's make some people.
All right. So one thing about this game is that it very clearly tells you right up at the top that this is a group activity.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That this is not a do it at home by yourself. This game is designed to have a session 0.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And in fact, some parts of it are when we make our characters as we're going through, we're expected to link our characters, some points in our characters' lives with each other. this happened to my character when he was 32. So maybe your character happened to be here and interacted with that. And there's a benefit for doing that. You get basically an extra rank in a skill.
Nice. I do love skills. Okay.
It seems to be the backbone of the system is the skills.
Yes.
Increasing your skills and becoming better through having more and more skills.
So you can make more money.
Exactly.
All right. So
That
it looks
makes
like
sense.
we start with characteristics,
Yes.
which are your basic stats, like D&D stats,
Yeah.
pretty much. So it has strength, dexterity, endurance, intellect, education, and social.
Yes. So social standing, that's social standing. That's basically how important you are in the community, or are you a noble? There's
there's a chart for that.
Yeah, there is.
There is.
Yeah. You can go all the way up to Duke.
Ooh.
Or I guess Duchess if you're, it's from its time,
Yeah. I noticed going through this game, almost exclusively male pronouns.
Yeah. That's
They didn't fix that either.
doesn't seem like it.
That would
It'd be
a
another
no.
nice thing to see different.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's one of the things that I always keep an eye out for whenever I look at a new game, and
Yeah.
and I was just like,
I think that's
why?
funny that you do, because I just don't. I think I just tune it out by now. Like, I'm just so, whatever.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Okay, so for the characteristics, these are a random roll. So you have your
Yes.
2D, your 2d6s.
Mhm.
And then the wording was kind of weird. It was like you can put them in any order that you want, starting
Right.
with strength.
Yeah.
So I was like, why does it matter which one I start with?
I don't think so if I remember, and this, I might be wrong on this, I'll admit it. I think in earlier editions, it was just a roll, assign, like you do it in order. So your first roll goes to strength. I think that's how it used to work.
Gotcha.
And my understanding is that the intention here is to be a little bit more friendly and say, put them wherever you want, make the character you want. But they might not have worded it quite right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it says to roll them and assign the scores in any order you wish to the 6 characteristics, starting with strength.
I know.
And I was like, so I can put any number I want in strength, but that's the first box I have to fill in. So I want you to know that I followed the rules, and I did do that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this is actually already kind of where you want to start thinking about what kind of character you want to be. Because once you do your roles, if you want your character to be a soldier, there are characteristics that are more important for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
All right.
Ryan's, plural. Did you roll already, or?
Not yet. I'm gonna roll right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have dice here in my hotel with me, so I just
will
have to roll
for you.
online.
Or do you do you want to?
I'm on a dice roller. I just hit the button.
An internet dice roller.
Sorry.
I get the nice sweet dice noises. Oh, 3. What the crap? Sorry.
What the crap?
Started with 9, and then I got a 3 and a 5. I don't like these dice. Come on.
I don't know what. This dice roller really liked me.
You got to roll 6 of them?
Yes. 6 pairs.
Oh, that was a good rolly dice sound.
I know.
Yeah, can we just cut out the thing about me using a dice roller and you just add a dice rolling sound for me?
I could.
Oh, I just whacked my microphone though.
All right. I have absolutely horrible scores for the most part. That's okay.
Mine are pretty average, I would say.
I have stories of some terrible scores, and as long as you're okay with your character having a pretty bad life, it can be fun.
I'm fine. It's fine.
And coming from
Brian's
me,
like, as long as they're nice.
yeah.
Exactly. They got to be nice.
Oh well, then you're fine.
Okay, I need to find the social chart because that's a thing.
Page 9.
There it is. Okay, so it only really matters if you're 11 or above to get a title.
Right.
And other than that, there's other things that, like your social skill influences, I guess.
Yeah, so before you assign anything, let me explain that. Basically, the way the Lifepath system works is term by term, you decide what career your character was taking part in. There is a role needed to get into that career. So just to be able to get into that career. That's if you look at page 19.
I'm so down for this. Like, I know that I'm being real mean, but like I'm here for this. I want to see how badly this can go.
Yeah. So if you look at page 19, just so it's easier to see, the qualification, that is what you need to roll to get into that career. When your character says, I want to be an entertainer, your character then has to roll either dexterity or intellect 5 or higher. And that's, you roll 2 dice, you add your dexterity or intellect dice modifier, and if it is 5 or higher, you've made it into that career. So a lot of them are not that hard, but, if you want your character to be a noble, you're going to want to have a high social standing, because that's social standing 10 plus.
Wait, so say that again. Sorry. So like if I'm looking on, it says like intellect 6 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean I roll intellect and it has to be above a 6? Is that
it has to be 6 or higher?
Okay.
Yeah, and it's what you roll is you roll the 2 dice and then you add your intellect dice modifier.
And so then there's these subfields for all of these.
Yes. So what it is that's the career is the big bold one. Okay. The sub one is the assignment. For a lot of it, it's if you're a noble, maybe you work in administration, or maybe you're a diplomat. Or a dilettante, whatever. But they all have different benefits that they will give you.
I see. So then you have to roll those later?
Later? Kind of. No.
Like, don't worry about it. We'll get to it.
No, I'll walk you through. I'll walk you through how it all works. Okay. We'll just walk through one really quick. So when you decide what term you want to do, let's just hypothetically you want to be a merchant. You roll to see if you get in. Say you succeeded. Merchant is not a hard one. Then you decide which assignment your character went into. And then after you decide that, you roll. Well, the first one, there's basic training, so you get a bunch of skills for being in that career.
Okay.
And then you get to roll what you learned that term, what skill raised, or what benefit you got that term. Okay. And that's where your assignment comes in, because each assignment has its own unique table you can roll on.
Yes. There's so many tables. I'm here for this.
And that is one thing that both Amelia and I absolutely love, is rolling on tables.
Yeah. and then you do what's called a roll for survival. This isn't one of the things you'll hear a lot about Traveler. Traveler is a game where you can die in character creation. Still technically true, not quite as true as earlier editions.
Bummer.
This is not survival. Here does not mean live or die. Survival is basically, do you get fired or do you keep your job?
Oh.
That's a little bit different.
That's like not even as good. That's like just sad. It's not like
I was hoping one of us were going to die playing this.
Oh, it's very possible.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Just not as possible.
Just not as possible. You have to be going real bold into it for that to happen.
All right, go hard or go home.
Go hard or go home. After that, if your character survived, if your character succeeded, you roll for an event. There's a chart of events that could happen in that career. You roll for it. You go with, whatever. If your character failed the survival, you roll a mishap. Something bad happened. And those will all be noted down, and those are where we kind of determine how our characters might know each other.
Okay.
So with Merchant, let's say one of the events is you make an unexpected connection outside your normal circles. You gain a contact. Maybe during that time, maybe my character is a merchant and made some underworld contact. Maybe your character is a criminal and worked as a bodyguard for that same person. That might be how we know each other.
Interesting. So you're kind of creating your backstory as you're creating your character.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So you come in, when you come into this game, don't come into it with a character backstory in your head. It's not going to be your thing.
Because it seems like there's a lot of random chance of where you're going to end up past, like, sitting down and writing down the name of your character.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then after you do assuming you succeeded and you've done your event, then you roll for advancement, which is, do you get a promotion? If you succeed, you get a promotion, you get another skill, and then we decide, does your character continue in that career, or is this where the game starts?
Nice.
All right.
And technically, we do not have to do the same number of terms. It makes the bookkeeping a little more difficult because then we have to find out if I did 6 terms and you did 5 terms, then on my 4th term, what term were you in, to figure out all the life event stuff. It's a little bit easier if at the start you just say, all right, guys, once one of us says, this is my last term, that's the last term.
All right.
Okay.
That's not a rule in the book. That's just my kind of advice of if, it makes the bookkeeping a little bit easier.
Right.
All right. I'm ready to do this.
All right.
I'm ready to roll on some tables.
Yeah, I'm excited.
There's some other stuff you got to do first. Like you got to put those numbers in some characteristics.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I went ahead and I rolled in my characteristics, and for everybody following along at home, I put a 3 into strength, 5 into dexterity, 4 into endurance, 9 into intellect, 8 into education, and 6 into social.
All right. I did 5 in strength, 7 in dexterity, 4 in endurance, 9 in intellect, 10 in education, and 8 in social.
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty average, except where it's not.
They're like way better than all of my stats, basically.
So I think what I'm going to do with all of that in mind, let me assign these really quick.
You're going to be like, someone needs to have some strength and endurance.
That's exactly where I'm going with this.
You can't just all be smart.
We need some sort of tank in the party.
So let's see. What did I already assign? 8, 9, 10.
You have to start with strength.
Yeah.
Oops, I didn't. I should start over. Let me reroll.
No, you don't get to reroll. I see what you're trying to do there.
Okay, I got it. So my character, I assigned an 8 in strength, a 9 in dexterity, a 10 in endurance, 7 intellect, 9 education, and only 5 social.
Good Lord.
I know, I rolled really well, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost wish I didn't. But okay, so
you could re-roll and lie about. No, I'm just kidding. We are always truthful on this show.
Yes.
We would never lie.
So now, if you go to page 8, you can see where it says characteristic modifiers. Those are the dice modifiers. So that's anytime it asks for a DM, that's where you're looking. And so on your character sheet, you can fill out, if it's I have an 8 there, so that's a +0.
And those are pretty much like the same as the D&D modifiers.
If you're rolling 2d6, how is there above a 12 on the modifier chart?
Well, if you're rolling 2d6 and you have a +1 on your dice, no. So this is there are things throughout the life path that can increase and decrease these.
Oh, okay.
So these are not going to stay permanent here.
So the most you can absolutely start with is 12, but then as you're creating your character, it could go higher.
Exactly.
And as you're playing the game.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Less so as you're playing the game. It still can, but it's harder.
Interesting. Okay. I'm into this.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing that we have is called background skills.
Okay, these are dumb. Carry on.
I'm sorry. This is what this represents is where your character grew up. We start the life path when your character is 18. So before that, though, your character still did something. Maybe they grew up on a farm or something. Background skills are those. So what you take is your education dice modifier +3.
Okay.
So for me, that's 4. And I get to take 4 of these. You'll notice that they all are skill name 0. In this game, there's a difference between having 0 in a skill and being untrained. Having 0 in a skill just means you roll it straight. If you're untrained, if you don't even have a 0 in it, you get a -3 automatically to the roll. So like if my character takes flyer 0, he's trained in flying things, but he isn't great at it. He's just got like the base, where most of us are on driving cars or something.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Just the base level.
Interesting.
So this is the first place, and usually it's advised that you kind of imagine what your character's home world is like and base it off of that. For the most part, these skills are probably not going to be your character's major thing.
Okay.
This is interesting. Okay, and I noticed that a lot of these skills have like art parentheses, electronics parentheses.
Yes. So that one of the places where it's not super well organized because you have to go several pages back in the book.
I think they were on like page 17, 16, 17? 63.
63. Yeah, it's pretty close.
16, 17, 63.
Yeah. But so like for my character, one of the things that I'm probably going to take is drive. And so now I have to pick what kind of vehicle he knows how to drive.
Interesting. Okay, so it looks like the ones that have specialties underneath them.
Exactly, yeah.
Cool.
So like, because driving a vehicle with wheels is a different skill than driving a vehicle that's a walker.
Right. Oh, crazy.
This is definitely like a product of this time too, like just the
Abs-
insane number of skills.
And
Yep.
this is tickling my Palladium brain in such a fun way. Like I love tons of skills.
I do too. I just don't like when I have to like do math at them.
Uh-huh.
I don't like when I have to like, you have like a point buy system or something that really bothers me.
Well,
so this feels okay. I can handle
this. Really kind of like hits that min-maxy sort of feel to it of wanting to make the best character you can, but you have so many options.
Yep. Well, and also like there's dice rolls involved, so you can't just be like, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this.
Uh-huh.
I might be taking my character to try to go in the army, but if I fail at getting in the army, or even if I get in, maybe I'm going to start learning melee when I was hoping for shooting guns.
Right.
Man, this could be a real mess. Oh, this is going to be good. I'm real excited. I have picked my background skills. So while everybody else is like, while Ryan is looking through his plethora of choices.
I'm almost there. I think I've got it.
So I picked admin. I picked art. Right. I picked, what else? I can't read my writing here. Carouse. I picked language. Is it Villani? The one that's pretty much Latin.
Yeah.
I picked... Okay, so tell me if I can do this. 2 different science ones.
Yes.
I can pick science twice? Okay, so I picked archaeology and history.
Yeah, they're 2 different skills. They're just under the same brand,
Yes.
But you only get 3.
It's 3
4.
plus your dice modifier in education. So if Amelia's
my
dice
education one was 3.
You have +3 to education.
Yeah.
No, what did you put in? What is
1.
your...
Hold on.
1.
Yeah.
So you should have...
Math at this. See, you look at it, it's like basic addition and I can't do it. You guys.
That's okay. All right.
You do yours better. Go ahead and do better.
All right. I went with... Okay. So I put all of my eggs into one basket.
Ooh.
All right.
Bold.
I am
like it.
going with art, singer, performing, art, instrument, and art, writing.
What instrument?
I was kind of thinking...
Theremin. Say theremin.
Not a theremin.
A space accordion.
I'm gonna say piano. Nice and classy.
Of all the space instruments you could have played.
What?
I'm just happy we have a space bard. I'm already happy about that.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah. So you want me to go?
Yes, other Ryan.
Okay, so my
this
character...
is like not working for other Ryan. It's not working for me. But I feel like I can't call you like bad Ryan on this show.
No.
So my character, based on where he grew up, he starts with athletics, endurance, drive wheel, mechanic, and streetwise. So he kind of was more of a city kid.
Okay.
Did he do street racing?
Maybe a little bit, just a touch.
Just gotta get places faster.
Yeah, come on.
All right.
Okay.
What? Go ahead.
I was going to say if we wanted to share names, or do we want to do that after the skill background selection? When does that usually happen?
I don't think there's a set time for...
that may clear up our Ryan issue.
That's true.
If we have character names. Okay, hold on. Let me find a random name generator and push it a bunch of times until I like the name.
All right. I'm adding pronouns to my name, too, in defiance of the singular pronoun in the system.
Absolutely.
I already got my name, so...
I don't like any of these names. Hold on 1 second. I have this book that's like falling apart, but I love it. Because it like groups names by like style of name, as opposed to Like there's just a whole section called androgynous.
Yeah.
Okay. Guest Ryan, what is your character's name?
Zach Davey.
Zach Davey. Okay.
Co-host Ryan, what is your character's name?
My character's name is Shiara, and she is using a she, her pronouns.
All right. I am naming my character Campbell Croft.
Campbell Croft.
They are they.
Mine is he, so.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow, we covered a lot of bases there.
Yeah.
And I do not use my last name at all. It's just Shiara because she likes to be a little bit mysterious.
She's a woman of mystery.
Yeah.
Could also be just the culture she comes from, because it's, we're probably from different planets.
Oh, that's very true.
Yeah.
Plus,
So
it sounds like her culture is very artistic based, and a lot of artists like to just use their first names, so it could be a choice.
Madonna, Beyonce, all the important ones.
Yeah,
exactly. If you're important, you're not using a last name. So,
all right. So now what?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that we have our characters kind of started, we need to decide on our first terms. So the first question is, did your character go into university or a military academy?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
Okay. So my character did not.
Okay.
So the options, we'll start. Did Campbell go to university or a military academy?
University.
Okay. So this would be Campbell's first term then, would be at the university.
Okay.
So to do that, you need to first see if you got in.
Oh boy.
And that is an education roll. So you roll 2 dice and add your education dice modifier.
Okay.
Oh, man, 7+. I should probably do this too, huh?
Okay, so I got 9.
Okay.
So I got in.
You got in. You have gotten into university.
Yay! This is like the RPG version of the Game of Life.
It really feels that way.
Just for getting in, there's a list underneath there. It says skills. For getting in, you get 1 of those skills at level 0 and 1 at level 1.
Ooh.
Your choice.
Okay. I am going to pick a science because I took one out before because I mathed at it wrong.
Okay. They're a good old science boy.
And I'm going to do medic.
Okay. So maybe went to medical school, it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm going to take the medic at level 1.
Okay.
Nice.
Do I just... where do I put that on my character sheet? Do I just make a 1 somewhere? These character sheets are not very good.
Yeah, so on these character sheets, it's going to assume that for medic, you would just put 1 now that you have 1, now that you're rank 1 in it. And if you gain, we'll get to it when we get to it. If you gain medic again, in some ways, that will increase to 2. In other ways, it might not. Okay. I'll explain it when it comes up.
Sure.
It's one of those more confusing things that's just easier when we get there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, okay. So you have picked those. Now you get to roll your event. On the page 15, there is an event table.
All right.
So you roll 2 dice.
So I got a 5. Do we add anything to this one? No.
No. This is just a raw roll. So, yep.
So take advantage of youth. You party as much as you study. Gain carouse 1.
All right.
Sweet.
They're kind of a party animal.
Yep. Apparently.
Okay. And now I'm also just so you know, I'm also keeping notes because it'll help me be able to figure out where I want to interject my character.
Yeah.
So now that you've done that, we need to figure out if you graduated.
Oh boy.
Oh wow.
So now you need to roll an intellect roll. If you get a 7 or higher, you have graduated.
Okay.
If you get 11+, you graduate with honors.
I did not graduate, friends.
Oh.
Ooh. Yeah, that's only 4.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what that means is your term is done. Your character is now 22 years old.
Wow.
Oh.
That's it. And nothing to show for it.
We're aging.
Oh my God.
Shall we go on to...
You got some skills.
Yeah, I did get some skills.
I'm sorry.
My parents
Ryan,
are
what was
going
your
to be so
character's name?
Shiara.
Shiara. That's... My handwriting is so bad I couldn't read it. Yeah, so you said Shiara also goes into education.
Yeah, I want to do university. She wants to go into university.
Okay. So once again, you roll education first.
Okay. So my education, I believe, let me see, is +0. So I need a 7+ on the dice. So 50% chance of getting into university. 7. Yes.
All right.
It.
Sounds like you got in.
Yes.
So,
awesome.
Yep. Once again, I forgot to mention, neither of you have social 9 or higher, do you?
No. Yeah, I think none of us did.
Because that makes it easier to get into university.
Okay.
Well, we got in just fine. We just didn't get burned out.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. So
You
just like for Campbell, you now get to pick one skill at level 0 and one skill at level 1 from that list.
Interesting. Okay. So I was thinking of doing some sort of science. Yeah, this is the hard part. We only get to choose 2 skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is so when you're looking at it, when you start your first career, most careers have what's called basic training, and they'll get several skills at level 0. University as your first career, you only get 2 skills, but you get one of them at level 1, which is kind of the big benefit there.
Okay.
And also the graduation benefits are really nice.
Right. Okay, so I want to see, I don't think I want another art skill. I've already got 3 of those. And there's different languages specialties?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think I want to care about those.
I don't think I want to care. Okay.
All right, yeah, so I'm going to do one of the sciences. I'm thinking either psionicology or psychology.
So I will let you know, depending on how interested you are in the official canon setting.
Yeah.
Psionics are illegal.
Oh.
So studying that would be very interesting, and it's not technically illegal, I think, to study the concept.
Yeah.
But it is illegal to be a psionic.
Weird.
So that could be an interesting character concept right there, as somebody who delved into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that sounds obviously like doing something naughty.
I'm kind of hoping I get psionics through this thing. So
it is really hard.
Right, but I at very least, if I'm not going to get psionics, I want to have studied them a little bit. So I'm going to put a 0 into psionicology.
Ooh.
Okay.
Just because, yeah, she's a little bit naughty.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Ryan, how are you?
Let's see.
We broke you in that Deadlands game.
I know, right?
He loves the murdering. Actual quote from that recording.
It must have been. I listened to the one Deadlands episode that was out so far.
Yeah, this is I think in the third one. I was editing it yesterday. Yeah. He loves the murdering.
He's so bad. He loves murdering and stealing.
Oh my.
Ryan, I bless you.
All right, and now I want to get a skill that I can be fairly useful in at level 1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I want to go with because I want her to be kind of book based a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe astrogation.
That is definitely a useful skill.
Yeah.
Because usually with this game, you assume that the group has a ship, and to go anywhere, you need somebody to plot the course. So
yeah, I'm going to do astrogation level 1. Okay. That'll work.
And then you also get to increase your education by 1. Amelia, did you remember to do that as well?
I didn't graduate.
No, you get the education plus 1 just for getting into university.
Okay, so the whole thing is +1 or just the...
+1 to the education
to the
stat.
characteristic.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So like if it was 9, it's now 10.
Gotcha. I went from 8 to 9, so now I got a +1 in education, which is pretty sweet.
Unfortunately, education is not what you need to graduate.
No. I already have a +1 in intellect, so...
Yep.
Is that where I'm at right now, rolling for graduation?
Once you've done the skills and increase your education, yep.
I am going to... I'm using different dice. Those skew a little low. I need to get 6 or higher on the dice. And
I believe in you.
I'm hoping for a 10 or higher. We'll see. That is an 8 plus 1, so 9.
Okay, so you did graduate without honors.
Okay.
So now those 2 skills you picked become 1 and 2 instead of 0 and 1.
Oh, wow.
So now you're 1 in psionicology and 2 in astrogation.
Sweet.
Your education modifier goes up another 2.
Dang.
Holy cow, I'm up to 11. Does that give me another bonus then?
I think.
No, 9 to 11 is the same one.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep. And finally, this is something to just keep in mind for when we come back to you and you decide what career your character goes into. There's a list of things that you get a bonus to qualify for career-wise because you graduated.
Nice.
Dang. I should have partied less.
So, okay.
I'm sorry, we forgot to do your event.
Yeah. Do an event.
Oh, I
don't
get
think-
an event?
Yes, everyone gets an event.
Oh, sweet.
I apologize, that's my bad.
Okay, so what is that? Is
This
just
is
2d6?
just a straight roll.
Yep,
Mhm.
2d6 straight roll.
That is a 9.
Ooh, you develop a healthy interest in a hobby or other area of study. Gain any skill of your choice, with the exception of Jack of all trades, at a level 0.
Oh,
Pick another skill, bro.
good God, there's a lot of skills.
So what hobby did Shiara get into?
Okay, so I have only looked at a small subset of the skill programs because there's a lot of skills.
Yes, there are.
Is there a list of skills instead of just like go through the whole thing?
With the specialties, I don't remember seeing one.
Okay, so something.
I mean, like, there's just like the whole character sheet you can like.
Right, yeah, the character sheet has them all listed. It just doesn't include all of the different specialties.
Yeah.
Did you like persuade?
Let's see. Not Jack of all trades. Okay.
What would be a good hobby skill?
That's a good question.
Gambler.
Part of me is thinking maybe leadership, so I'm going to put that on the side burner. See what's going on there.
Model UN.
Pilot. That might be a good one.
Explosives, obviously.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yep. One of the sciences might be fun, but I'm not too keen on that. You know what? Where was that one? I'm going to go with deception.
Ooh.
I want my character to be a little naughty.
Oh, it's so naughty.
Ryan. Who
This
are
will start
you?
at 0, right? I know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to branch out a little bit here.
Yeah. All right. So since we kind of skipped that, now you've got everything, and you can see that list of the careers you could get into a little bit easier, right?
Yeah.
So my character is not going to go into education. He directly goes into being a rogue.
Ooh.
Or he tries, at least. Let's see if he makes it.
Okay.
Let's see. The requirement is Dex 6, and I rolled a 5 with my +1. I get a 6, so I made it.
Nice.
Okay. So, by getting into being a rogue, first thing that I need to do, because this is my first career, I go through basic training. And basic training is basically I get rank 0 in all of the skills from the service skills table. So, that would be rank 0 in deception, in recon, athletics, and I'm going to put that in a different athletics because I already have one gun combat, and I'll worry about what type of gun here, and probably like I think I'll look at that in a second. Yeah, stealth and streetwise, but I already have streetwise, and because this is the basic training, it doesn't go up to 1. Oh well. All right. So now that I've done my basic training, there are basically 2 spots. Actually, this is the major one where the book is very unclear.
All right.
If you look at the chart, the graph thing there, or the flow chart, it says, if this is your first term of a career, go through basic training. Otherwise, choose a skill table and roll. To me, that reads you don't get to do the skill table for your first career.
Right. Is that not true?
Well, if you look at on page 16, the skills and training, which is the same thing, it just says in each term you spend in a career, pick one of these tables. So it kind of contradicts itself, but I think it's more kind of balanced if you don't do the roll on the first one.
I mean, yeah, I wonder if it's just like a space thing that they didn't spell it all out again.
Yeah. But either way, so my character, by the way, my character, he took the enforcer assignment. So he got on with some criminals and, roughs people up sometimes.
All right.
So the next thing I have to do is roll for survival. And for the enforcer, survival is endurance 6+. And I absolutely got that.
To say your endurance is pretty high, right?
Yes, I got a total of 10 on my roll.
Nice.
So that means I get to roll an event. Wow. My event, I rolled a 6. You have the opportunity to backstab a fellow rogue for personal gain. If you do so, gain DM +4 for your next advancement check. If you refuse, gain them as an ally. I think he's young and he's kind of dumb, so he does it.
Yeah. Always choose backstabbing, you guys. Always.
Yeah. So within the first 4 years of moving away, Zach went ahead and backstabbed someone.
All right.
And so that will give me probably just automatic advancement. But because I still have to do the advancement. For me, advancement as an enforcer is a roll of 6+ on a strength.
And you have an automatic +4 to this now?
I have an automatic +4, so there's no way I can fail. I did roll 12 on the dice, but doesn't matter.
Oof. All right.
Yeah. And so this means I succeeded on advancement. And this is basically what you guys are going to be doing for your next several terms. These are the steps.
All right.
So that's, when you make the advancement, then you move a rank up, and there's sometimes benefits for that. And I also get an extra roll on a skill table. So as you can see, there are a total of 6 skill tables for every career. I have access to personal development, service skills. My education is not high enough for me to get the advanced education. I don't know why rogues, it's weird.
Yeah,
but I can also do the enforcer one. Yeah. So I'm going to roll on personal development. For this one, you only roll one die. And I got a 5, so that gives me a rank in melee. One thing you'll notice here is these ones on the table, they don't have a number by them. They are just,
0.
Blank, which means it's no.
Oh.
If it doesn't have a number at all, there's no 0, there's nothing. Every time you roll that, you go up 1 from where you were.
Oh, okay.
With the exception of if you were at untrained, you go to 1.
Cool.
So my melee is now 1. So my character, in backstabbing, learned how to use melee weapons.
All right.
And the last thing is, because I went up a rank as an enforcer, I'm now rank 1, and where it says ranks and bonuses, I get Persuade 1.
Man, everybody's doing so much better than me already.
And then that is the end of my first term. So now all of our characters are 22 years old.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
Like benefits then. Do you...
The benefits thing is when you finish that career.
Okay.
So, if you stick in that career for a long time or choose to leave it, you get the benefits when you leave that.
So is it beneficial then to do more careers?
Honestly...
Well, but then you would have to roll to enter it again, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And for every term you do in a career, you get a roll on the benefit table.
Okay.
So it's, if you stick, as long as you don't fail out of a career...
if you're in it for 4 terms, you get to roll 4 times.
Yes. Probably even more, because there are other things that also give you rolls on it.
Gotcha. Okay, I was thinking why wouldn't you just leave then and then... Okay, I got it.
Yep. So it's actually more beneficial to stay in the same career.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for part 1 of this character creation series. We'll be back in part 2, picking up right where we left off.
Character Creation Cast is a production of the One Shot Podcast Network and can be found online at www.charactercreationcast.com. Head to the website to get more information on our hosts and guests, or even some of our character sheets. Character Creation Cast can be found on Twitter at CreationCast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Bolter, and I can be found on Twitter at Lord Neptune. Our other host, Amelia Antrim, can be found on Twitter at Ginger Reckoning. Music for this episode is used with a Creative Commons license or with permission from the podcast they originated from. Further information can be found within the show notes. Our main theme music is Hero Remix by Steve Combs and is used with a Creative Commons license. This podcast is owned by us under Creative Commons. This episode was edited by Ryan Bolter. Further information for the game systems used and today's guests can also be found in the show notes. If you like the systems discussed and wish to purchase them, links to the products can be found in the show notes. Also, check the notes or the website for cool stuff to go with each character, such as dice or mixtapes. Thanks for joining us, and remember, we find that the best part of any role-playing game is character creation. So go out there and create some amazing people. We will see you next time.
Now we gotta read some show blurbs.
Show blurbs.
Show blurbs.
Show blurbs.
Show blurbs. Character Creation Cast is hosted by the One Shot Podcast Network. If you enjoyed our show, visit oneshotpodcast.com, where you'll find other great shows like Neoscum.
Neoscum is a narrative comedy podcast featuring 5 Chicago improvisers antagonizing their way through the role-playing classic Shadowrun. It follows a group of misfits and outsiders: Z, the acerbic cyber troublemaker; Pox, the candy junkie klepto from across the pond; Tech Wizard, the public access actor with a petulant thirst for adventure; and Dak Rambo, the nastiest trucker this side of the Robo-Mason-Dixon. Join the irascible Neoscum crew on a puerile rockin' road trip through a weirdo world of tomorrow, doling out street justice to every deeb they encounter, whether they deserve it or not.